this year we are again we are going to have our increase our relation with the provincial government rather than just normal meetings and the urging to them. We'll be putting more accountability to the elected MPs and the Advanced Minister of Education, who is the chair of, if I'm right, chair of the federal structure of funding for this year. So I guess, and I'm hopeful that that she will not be regretting, she will not be disappointing our students, because it's the hometown that where she belongs, and I guess our minister will be very much compassionate to help us, for sure.
Sorry about that. Thank you very much. Are there any other questions? Let's take a look here. Okay, looks like we're good to move on. So thank you very much to the executive for the reports. Next up, presentation, the audited financial statements for the period ending April 30th, 2020.
No, sorry, I was on mute. So I'll just share my screen now. Just give me a quick second.
Oh, sorry. Before we move forward with that, there's one other question here about current standing with the CFS. Would one of you mind just giving an update to the student body on that?
Sorry, Jack, the question about the CFS?
Yes, what's the current standing with the CFS?
So at this time, as Alfred also mentioned, we have provided the CFS an lump sum amount and has been rejected. We are in very much, we are putting our efforts to get away from the organization, and hopefully we could reach out a conclusion very soon. Also, we are a guest member of CASA for this year. So we are always hoping that if we could get the right organization to defend the students' rights on federal level, so we would be really glad to do that.
John, you're on mute.
Sorry, before I move on, I almost forgot there. We need to have a motion to accept the executive reports. So can I get someone to so move? Keegan? All right, I can only, again, I can't see when multiple people raise, so if someone on admin could copy whoever the second is.
Tisha.
We can move to a quick vote on that.
Tisha
Keep that
Matilla.
open for a few minutes. Tisha Matilla, thank you very much.
Yeah, so you guys can see the screen here?
Hold on.
Yeah,
So-
but hold on, we've just got to get through this vote.
Okay, so sorry.
I think that feedback was me. Sorry about that, Jack. All right, 2 minutes is good on that front. Motion carried with a raw majority. So you can move forward. Thank you very much. Excellent. Go ahead,
Sorry.
Gurkarat.
I dipped for a minute to try and deal with the feedback issues. We'll see how it goes for Gurkarat now.
Thank you very much.
You can see the screen now.
Yes, and we have no feedback at the moment.
Okay. I'll just enlarge this one. These are the financial statements of last year. We saw a significant change in the cash. This was the one I guess somebody asked in the chat. And this is because all the cash that we had earlier, we just made investments in that. Short-term investments and some long-term investments as well. The short-term investments will be like returned in the January 2021 with I guess 3% profit, and then the long-term investments will be in the coming terms, I guess in the end of the 2023, and that will give us 2.75% interest. Other than that, we see that there is a government remittance payable, which is 16 this year compared to
How
what it
did
was
Martha
last.
get?
Sorry. Did I hear a question?
Sorry, Gurkarat, I should have been on mute.
Okay. So yep. So we see a 16, like we see a major change in this one. It's because the owl was not running in this year, so we don't have to pay any taxes. But the last year, the owl was functioning at its full capacity, and we had to pay it full. We did make changes to the unrestricted reserve, and what comes here is the investments, as mentioned earlier. You can see that here. The accounts receivable increased because we paid some loans and emergency funds, the PEC funding. Those were not receivable until 2019, but they will be receivable in 2020. So even though they were the last year payments, but we will receive it in this year. The next major change we see is in the OWL. And this one is again because of COVID, we are not running OWL. So we see a $200,000 difference in these. The UPass revenue, which shows up here, it's still just not yet corrected because it was suspended in 2020, and this will be reflected in the next year's statements. Even while going through it, if anybody has any questions, you can just come up with that. And just in case if you need some more details, there are also some notes provided at the below. Yeah, so here are the notes if anybody want to go through the details, and each and every detail is mentioned here. Because in an AGM, we can go over even like the smallest details. So these were the major changes that happened in last year. If anyone has any questions, you can ask them out. I see a question in the chat about the renovations at the owl. Yep, but there are some renovations happening at the owl. We finished updating the new sound system, and then the washrooms are being repaired. But the expenses will be covered in like next year's statements.